This is the real reason why I'm changing them. This is the bent hub. Right, Elan fans, we're back with the hubs. So I went to Sterling Bolt and Nut in Peterborough, picked myself up a tap and new bolts. And you'd be surprised the amount of crap has come out of these fresh holes. So I'll give these a tap and I'll show you the state of the tap after one, because it's quite mucky, but I've got one built up. Gonna put the disc on this one and then ready to bolt them on later on tonight. So we should have a, touch wood, working Elan. Alright, check this out for some quality filming. Now, I know people may say you're meant to do a turn, then a quarter back, but I'm not actually cutting these threads. I'm just giving them a clean, really. So there's no need to clear the chips away because there really shouldn't be any. So let's see how clean, dirty, or whatever this tap is when it comes out. See, look at that. That was immaculate when I put it in. So it's worth doing on new bits. It's worth giving them a clean, you know, especially as this is holding the brake discs on. You know, just running a tap down them could avoid cross-threading. Well, won't avoid cross-threading. It'll just make things better, I'm sure. That face needs to be immaculate, as does that face. And obviously try and keep the inside of the hub as clean as possible. That is the bearing race, which I've already seated for Le Grand bearing. That one. But yeah, this needs to go on first. I will clean these obviously before they go on the car, but I don't see the point before, till I'm ready to put them on. I'll keep the grease on as much as possible. And then, sorry, try and do this Uno-handed. I've opted, instead of going for spring washers, which is what was on it, I'm going for a wee bit of blue, which is what I'm sure I read in the manual as being what the doctor ordered. So, putting each one in. Why are you not seating nicely? Come on, I've even tapped you. You should be... I feel like Happy Gilmore going, it's your home, Bolt. It's your home. What, is it too good for you? And then one thing I do need to improve on is my torquing up, because I just seem to rely on, a lot of the time, just feel, which isn't as good as it should be, really. Should be more thorough. So I've been doing these up to RFT as opposed to FT or PFT. So I've got these all seated, I've got to try and hold it while swizzling me ratchet. Fortunate, see, he feels too tight. I'm going to stop here. Beautiful. Get a little bit tight. I'm going to have to need both hands for this one, guys. I'm going to have to put you down. Right, we're all sorted. I took it out and just checked it went in without the disc. So I think the disc casting may not be totally square, but they're both done. So, yeah, we're going to get these bad boys on tonight. May even take it for a drive if I can be bothered to move that fucking white pig out of the way. Okay, so here, back with the car, I've got the felt seal on, got the inner bearing just fitted. I've got no grease on it for the moment. I just want to do a trial fitting, make sure it all goes together and doesn't clash at the back. I notice we've got backing plate bolts and brake disc bolts, but that feels all good to me. So what I'll do now is the fun bit, which is packing these here with high performance bearing grease. Let's get stuck in. Well, I think that's about fully packed. I hope so. Can't get any more in. Okay, well I ended up drifting that in with a 22mm. I checked the old bearing and it would have also need drifting on, but it seems to be on. The only question mark I had is I didn't need to, they just fell off, so I didn't think I'd need to force them on. I'm just cleaning up the washer. Nice and clean now, so that can go on. And then, somewhere lost in the melee, we have a brand new castle nut. I'm trying to figure out what size he is. He is the size that isn't in my toolbox, but I reckon he is a 3/4. There we go. 3/4. Get an extension on him. We'll get him wound in. And he will need a split pin going on, which I'll show you in a second, and that is a proper pain in the arse. Right, the new nut did not want to go on. Felt like it was starting to bind up, so I put the old one on. It's not torqued down, so I can't see it being too much of a problem. Yeah, beautifully smooth. Right, now this is a bit of the process which is, as far as I'm concerned, a dark art, because there's no set way of doing it. So you tighten down the hub nut and then you slacken it off, but I'm always tempted to, well, the way I always do it is I tighten it up until it tightens no more and the wheel is locked, and then I back it off the minimal amount so it spins freely and hopefully you don't get any play. My thought is, while this is a new bearing, I should tighten it up to make sure it's seated properly, like that, so that's not moving and I can't really get any more on it. So now I'll back it off 1/4 of a turn. Those nice new brake bolts in there. See, that feels a little bit tight, so just give it an 1/8. Not binding at all. A little bit of play. And now this is where the problem comes in, because you only have a certain amount of holes to get a pin through. See, this is where the more intelligent mechanic, I'm gonna have to take that off and find out where the pin is, where the hole is. And then I can at least line it up by sight, because getting a split pin in there with that amount of depth is pretty tricky. All right, so I've got it back. That should be, I did put a mark in it, but you can't see it. Oh, I can't either. That hole should be bang up there, so I'm gonna find me. Oh, look at that. They're just sat here. Who'd have thought? We're in. Now you just got to get it through far enough. We can start manipulating it. There we go, look at that. Perfect, so now we've got to bend one of the legs one way, and then we'll do the other one around the other part of the nut. Ta-da! Done. Beautiful. Clean the disc, caliper on, dust cap on, wheel on, down, other side. Maybe a drive. Sorry the filming's been a bit sporadic, but there we go. I've been nipping in and out of work, so that's just binding on the caliper because the disc's obviously a bit thicker than the old one. So yeah, where's the spinners? Around here somewhere. I'm going to put a bit of copper slip, clean that up, get the wheel back on, and see if I can fit around the next side, but I may need to move the car to get on it properly. We'll soon be rolling. This is the real reason why I'm changing them. This is the bent tub. See where it's bent? There. It's where the wheel fell off. The wheel was leant up against there. If you go back on one of the videos, you can see it. I span it around on the roadside. But yeah, that's the reason why we're doing this work. So let's get the split pin out, get this off, and the new one on. Just bought me and Belle a treat to eat after dinner. I've just woofed the whole lot in one sitting. Alright, Elan fans, we are reaching the end of the initial Elan journey. I've got the carbs running better than they've ever run before, but I'm still having a problem setting the idle because it sometimes it idles at kind of 15 to 16 AFR, other times it's 13. It can't really seem to make its mind up, and I've spent a lot of time playing around with this so it's absolutely in line, this bar's in line, and it snaps right back to the stop. Experimented with different springs, but I don't know, there's just a lack of continuity there. Got the choke on, that's working, which is good. What else? We've got the AFR gauge mounted for the time being, just so I can monitor things, where the fuel gauge was. Once it's all settled down, I'll probably take it out, put the fuel gauge back in, but the car's all kind of in one piece. So jobs left to do. I've got a couple of bits of aluminium that I'm going to make a choke holder with because it doesn't stay out. I am going to put the wheel on straight, and I'm going to get the car in here and just check the hubs are tight or loose enough, and then then yeah, it should just be ready to be enjoyed before coming back in for the winter project. And if I haven't said before what the winter project is, the winter project will be inner and outer shafts, whatever they're called. They're apparently a weak point, so I'm going to change those, and I'm going to change the hubs, the bearings, so the rear end will be as fresh as the front. I am going to remove, there's a chassis bar somewhere there, I'll put a little drawing on it. You'll take that off, drop the sump down and reseal the sump, because sorry, my fat finger slipped, because it's leaking too much oil, and it just ruins people's driveways and stops me taking it places. So that's going to get done, and I'm going to paint this and the bumpers a dark metallic grey, but I'll probably get a pro to do that. I don't mind doing solid, but metallic, I just don't know what I'm doing. And I'll renew a few seals. I'll probably get a new screen and rubber in, because that's got a crack and I want to get it MOT'd. Catch can. That was the other thing, radiator. It's been warm today, and I'd say it's been high 20s, and I've been buggering about in town, so not a lot of airflow, and it's been fine. But if I've got the funds, I'm going to put a big alley one in, just because you probably should. If you can keep an Elan cool, keep it cool. And yeah, that's it really. So hopefully, well, the next video of this car is going to be quite interesting. It won't be filmed by me, but I'll leave that as a surprise. And hopefully I'll be able to do a few driving videos. I'll get some sort of camera set up where you can actually see what's going on. But other than that, we're going to be slowing down on these. White pig update. I've got to fix a wing mirror, a few other things, and that's going. So I'm not going to be getting too involved in that. And then we've got a couple of jobs on the Rover, but yeah, amount of stuff to do really. So yeah, you'll have to go and find someone more interesting to watch. Yeah, so I'm going to do these jobs, and I'll just give a quick lowdown of what's going on. Alright, so just a quick, feels solid. That's not as loose, that's tighter than the other side, that is. I'm going to take this off, just check the pads aren't dragging, give it I might need to loosen it off a little bit. Right. Much better. Much better. Right, next job, steering wheel and horn. Right, so a couple of issues to sort in here. We have, sorry for all this tape, it was part of my fault finding when the horn was coming on when I was cornering. Which is happening again because I've got a new steering column in. So, first of all, this isn't straight, it sits about there, so I need to straighten that up and then take it off. Well, I'll film it, you'll see what I'm doing. See that? That is the self-cancelling kind of tab, which is meant to cancel indicators, it doesn't, so I don't even know why I put it back on, but it needs pushing down, otherwise when you're at a certain angle it will contact that bit of brass, or that bit of brass, and then you get your horn coming on. So I'm just gonna push. Actually, do you think I could just pull it off? Oi oi. That's probably the better option. Seeing as the self-cancelling doesn't work, I may as well get rid of the problem altogether. Ta-da! Done. So we get this bolted on now, and I think the lovely Amazon man is about to come deliver my new throttle cable, which on this car will be throttle cable number 4, which shows you how much fuckery I haven't been filming. Hate the bloody things. So I'll film that next. Ta-da! Until we got cablage hangage. I know what'll fix that, a fucking zip tie. But that's pretty much the interior. Here's the throttle cable kit. This is the third one of these that I've ordered from Amazon. The problem is I put them on, I cut them to length, and then I find I need to take them out again, then the end phrase, then I can't get it back through, and I haven't left enough length, so it's just like, oh my god. I know what you're saying, and yes, you are right, but it just happens, okay? Just happens. So you get two cables. One's got a bigger nipple at the end, and the other one's smaller. So that's what I'm using at the moment, with a solderless nipple attached to it to hold it onto the throttle. So I'm going to change it for this one, because then it's just one less point of failure, and I'll wire it through to the front.
And there you can see that fits really nicely in there. So now we've got to go under the bonnet, wire it in, attach it, whatever, to the carburetor spindle. And this time I will cut it more carefully so it doesn't get destroyed, and I'll leave more length. Oi oi.
There we have it all attached. Left plenty of length. So even if that gets frayed, I can just chop it back further and further and still be okay to adjust and do what I need. So throttle cable done. What was the other bloody job? Steering wheel, horn. Need to plug the horn back in. I think it's embarrassing when you turn into a petrol station, it starts beeping at everyone. Right, horn back in. Wheels done, throttle cable done to the best I can do at the moment. Question for you guys, can I just solder that so it doesn't fray? Is that something I can do? Just like heat it up and touch it with a bit of tin? If anyone knows and is watching, could you let me know? Put a new screw in there to hold that on. I can't remember what. I'm sure there was another job I had to do. I'm sure of it. I've checked the brakes, checked the bearings, done the horn, done the throttle cable. I think that's it. And I think it's sort of finished. Wow. Okay. Well, yeah, car's done. Thanks for watching, motherfuckers. See you on the other side. I knew there was something else. I'm going to use this to make up a bracket for the choke. To do so, I need my I need these. Right. If you want to witness some proper design engineering. Look, you see, I told you I had lots of throttle cables. There's another one here, and there's another one down there. Throttle cables everywhere. So the plan is, seeing as this doesn't turn and stick like I think it's meant to, notice the small shaft just there. I reckon I can clamp in behind it and force it on. So I'm going to cut this with my Dremel. Seriously, no laughing. Hey, before you laugh, let me show you the disc on the grinder I was using. Yeah, that's all I had to play with. And an old file, a couple of mole grips, and a drill bit. I had no vise or anything. But what I have created is something that it does work. If I can get my second hand in. Boom, there we go. Holds the choke on. Choke off. Ta-da! Doesn't touch the wood because it hits that screw. Just goes in quite nicely. Can I do it one-handed? Yeah, I can even do it one-handed. Put it in. Lift in. Once I've got a wire wheel on it, got it in a vise and really tidied it up nicely, that'll look alright. See, I should have bent it the other way because it's a bit tidier. Maybe I still can. Yeah, maybe that was an error. But then they're just witness marks of, you know, an average guy trying his best. So maybe I'll leave it that way. Yeah, that works. I'll find somewhere to keep it. Job done. Job done. Well, there we go. Ta-da! It's now ready to be used. I'm going to try and find out what the mileage was when I first started filming, but we're on 92,500. It's first week of July. It's going to get used. I reckon we could easily get to 94,000 by the end of the summer. End of the summer for me is when the kids go back to school. And then there's probably another 2 months of reasonably good weather. Should get up to five, maybe 96,000. And then in the winter, I will use it, but only when it's dry. I don't want it to get all claggy and horrible underneath. But you know, those lovely days when it's just crisp, I'll definitely have it out. It's got a heater, it's got a screen, got a roof. Should be used. Should definitely be used. But yeah, I wonder how long that's going to be before it rolls back around to zero. Got to be by this time next year. Or maybe end of next year. Don't jinx it, Naylor. Touch wood. Yeah. Let's just see 93,000 in first. Anyway, guys, it's been a pleasure. I will keep updating this as I do little bits and bobs, but it's going to be no major work. Again, touch wood. Fucking hell. There's no major planned work, but I'm sure the Elan will create something for me. So, do a bit.